Happy birthdays as well. You always find the latest courtyard permanent solution. Out of the box.
Hello and welcome to Radio Waves by todderbert. In front of us we have the Ocean Digital WR-03M. This is an FM Bluetooth Internet Radio tuner with podcast support. You can find it selling on Amazon USA for $99.99. If this device is awesome and suits you, definitely check out my paid link section, support the channel. You guys rock. So let's look at this radio. Here's the difference. Ocean Digital, model number, some QR codes. Took everything out of the box. Let's see what we get inside. Set that to the side there. Alright, so in the box, we do get to start a show, the Ocean Digital. Now, if you look at it closely, you can see that there are no speakers on it. And there are no buttons. Pretty wild. What else do you get in the box? We get a remote control, which is, you need. This is your main device to control it. Yep. Also get a plug-in. This is going to be always on situation. It's a 5-volt, 1-amp output. Okay, nice. And then we get some audio cables. 3.5 millimeter stereo, 2 left and right channel RCAs. Hook up to your hi-fi system. That's what this is meant for. Okay, and then we get a little antenna wire for your FM radio reception. It's a mono plug with a 38-inch wire. And for fun, they give you a user manual with a ton of pages. Now, if you see my videos of Ocean Digitals, this stuff's pretty much all the same. It has the same menu, the same options, except for this here. This is a little different here, how you're hooking up your unit, because it doesn't have any speakers. So you have to provide some kind of powered speaker setup. I'm going to be using a portable radio. Yeah, you can do that. In most cases, it works really well. All right, and then they show the back of it. What's going on there in case I missed something. And of course we'll cover most of this stuff here. Your remote and how it works. Okay, yeah, again, cool that you can access everything, of course, from the remote. The alarm, the sleep timer, info buttons. You got a lot of cool media control right there, straight to EQ. Yeah. And then of course it goes into like signing on your wireless network. And I'm not going to bore you with all the extra details, but there's a lot of fun to be had here. Okay, so you get the general gist, right? And in some videos I might have showed the entire book, so. But in this device, it's pretty straightforward. FM radio, you got presets there, which is nice. Alright, cool, so let's get it going. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and look at the main device. Talk about it, zoom it on down. Go over dimensions. Do size comparison, that'd be good. Alright, so the device dimensions, it is 6 3/4 inches in length. We have a height of 4 1/8 of an inch standing up. Nice. I do like its thin profile. The depth is 1 7/8 of an inch from front to back, so just under 2 inches. Not bad. Very lightweight and small, compact. For size comparison, I always like to bring out a few items. What do we got handy? We have, oh yeah, this is a good one. The Ocean Digital WR-18, if you own one of those. If you'll notice right away what the big deal is, the screen. This is a 3.2 inch screen, and I don't know, that's like a 1 point something. So there's a big difference in screen size, for sure. But yeah, WR-18, I think they still make this. It's a rechargeable portable Wi-Fi radio with FM, if you so desire something like this. But if you're hooking up to your main hi-fi system, you're going to want this instead of this radio. Trust me, this is the way to go. But yeah, awesome. This is going to become my new Wi-Fi downstairs, I think. There you go. I've been using it 18 quite often. We have CC Pocket in the house, just to give you a general idea. You won't go portable with this, though you can. I don't see why you would, though. There's so many wires you have to carry with you. But you could go portable with it if you wanted to go out on the deck or something and set it up there. But yeah. Okay, and then we have a deck of cards. Yeah, in case you don't have those items. Iron Man, he's the man with the master plan. He loves Ocean Digitals from Chinaland. Dun, 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 dun. Iron Man. You get the idea, right? Cool. All right, great. So we're going to talk about features of this radio. Then we're going to set it up and start rocking. Here we can hear with this thing. Yeah. So as you can see on the front, This is Ocean Digital. You can see like this little dot here. That's just the protective film. I haven't taken it off yet. I'm going to leave it on to protect the front. It's just too glossy, so I'm leaving it on. So yeah, we got a nice vivid 3.2-inch screen. You get to see here in a second. We have a remote sensor right here in the front. That's where you're going to be controlling everything with your remote control. And that's it for the front. There's some brushed treatment on the bottom here. The side profile, as you can see, kind of juts out in the back just a little bit, ever so slightly. And then all the fun stuff on the back panel. We have an Ethernet jack. Nice. There's our antenna jack for the FM wire. There's audio out, 3.5 millimeter. Then we have an optical out. DC input of 5 volts. See, that's where you can use the power bank to make this portable. Now, again, you won't go portable with this, probably. In most cases, you won't. Then we have a mechanical on-off switch. So, off, on. A thing of beauty, if you need to use that. Very handy. A lot of people are looking for these devices to have an Ethernet port. There you go. You don't have to use Wi-Fi whatsoever. And probably a smart move if you're doing a home stereo setup. Yeah, and then you got little rubber feet on the bottom. And that's about it for connectivity. And I think that's when it was made. June 2025. All right, great. I better zoom in there so you can see the details there, the pertinence. Very basic. Power consumption, 5 watts. Okay, you get the idea, right? All right, great. And the remote control, pretty straight up simple. Show it real quick. Power button, mute button. You got some numeric keys, though I haven't found myself using those too often, though that could be used in certain circumstances. We have an add to favorites. We have a dedicated favorites button, so you hit that and go right to your favorites menu. You have directional controls. You have left, right, up and down to scroll through menu options, and OK to select. This is like a back button. They show like a back return. Yeah. Below it, we have our alarm clock for dual alarms. Then we have a sleep function there. Volume up and down controls. Home. Mode. EQ right on the bottom there. Nice. Rewind. Pause, play, fast forward. Forward track, back track. Looks like internet radio. Takes you right to there. Info button. That's nice. So you can toggle the screen to see if you have any extra information. And then dimmer for dimming the screen if you want to make it darker because it's getting late. So there you go. Ocean Digital. Takes 2 AAA batteries. They do not provide those, so you have to provide your own. There's a remote. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cut the scene and go right to setting this up and having it all hooked up, actually. That'd be the best way to do it because I have to run cords through something special. So, fade to black, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're all hooked up. Here we are, so we're going to present it. While it's in standby mode, you have your analog clock, digital clock with calendar, or an analog clock with calendar. This looks nice and clean, so this is the one I like. So yeah, we got our remote here, and I'll be using this pretty much in the background, pointing it at the device. If I feel like I need to explain something, I'll bring the remote control back into view, but here we are. So power button is pretty simple. Turned it on. Okay, so if you're familiar with the radios, you can see we're greeted with our Wi-Fi signal, a clock here on the right-hand side. We have some icons in the middle. So you got favorites, internet radio, Skytune, where you got 31,000 plus stations to go hunt for, lots of stuff. Next we have Media Center, which supports your universal plug and play and DLNA support on your servers. So you can listen to music on your computer, off your computer to this device. Nice. FM radio, we're not going to touch on this, but the radio needs a proper ground through the audio signal, and my portable radio doesn't provide that, but your hi-fi should. So with the FM radio, you can do full scans and save, and I did that, and I found about 60 stations, giving the radio a 3-star rating, a solid good sensitivity, and a good selectivity score. 3-foot wire is definitely going to do that. You're going to get a lot of good reception on FM radio. If you need to use it, your hi-fi may already have it, but it's pretty straightforward. You use the forward track, back track, the incremental tune, and of course you use these keys to access your presets. It's a pretty simple affair. Let's see if I can show you that just to give you an idea. You can full scan, and then you got the station list, and then you can just scroll through and just enter on the one you want. That's what I'm doing right there. Again, pretty simple. Okay, so I'm going to back up, go out of there. So yeah, we're just going to focus on the podcast and what the other things can do here. So we have Bluetooth. So it's receive only, it's not transmit, which would be nice if it did transmit. I'd like that. We have an alarm. So alarm is dual alarm. So if you hit that, You got 2 alarms you can set. I'm not going to set it because I don't really want it to go off. But you can, with the alarms, they let you wake to a tone, your favorites, or the FM radio. Okay, let's go ahead and hit the back out of there. Then they give a timer. The timer is nice. It's a 100-hour countdown timer, so it's a long timer if you need that. We also have a sleep timer. So yeah, you got 180 minutes down to 15 minutes. And a configuration menu with 16 options. Let's go check it out. So network, your date and time, language, FM setup. We go in there. You can pick your location for your FM area. So here we are. Europe, East Europe, others. I'm in the Americas, so it tunes in 200 K steps. And you kind of see that here. I'll let it do its little scroll thing. Alright, there's that. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and just back out of there, give you an idea. Scan. Alright, cool. So we'll get out of that. You set up your radio to be local. I put it to my state, Illinois. Nice. Whoops. Okay, back down. And then playback setup. Hit that. So this is repeat all, repeat one, shuffle. So that's when you're doing your streaming from your devices. Nice. Power on options is nice too. If you turn the switch on manually on the back or a power switch off to the side, go to standby, resume once ready. So once it gets a Wi-Fi connection, it'll resume whatever station you were on, or ready to use will take you to the menu. Auto power save. So if you don't do anything with the radio and the radio is off, it'll turn off in 30 minutes on its own. Or you can change it up to 120 minutes. There you go, down to 10. So we'll go ahead and exit that. Dimmer. So you could have auto, or auto dims. I just have it on normal, so it stays at one level the whole time. And I have a 35% brightness at the moment. All right, cool. So back out of there. EQ. Now you have a button for the EQ on the remote. So you can just access your EQ here, and it'll take you to that menu where you can set different ones. You got classical, pop, rock, jazz, advanced. Advanced allows you to add pre-gain, 50 hertz, 100 hertz. So you get all this control on the audio signal. So that's nice. Let's back out of there. Okay. Buffer time. Nice. So yeah, you got 2 seconds, 5 seconds, and 10 seconds. A lot of cheap radios out there only do like 2 seconds or 3 seconds. This gives you up the ability to go up to 10. So I love that. Thank you. Good to know. Network information, system information, software update. You can see if it needs an update or not. Hopefully mine doesn't. Okay, already up to date. And then reset the default. And we're in. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and check out my favorites list. All right. Well, there's podcasts too. Forgot to show you that. There's podcasts. So first we're going to go to the favorites. Yeah, let's have some fun. So what do I have in my favorites? Now the cool thing is I wanted to show you is you can actually create your own categories. And you can put the different stations you found in those categories. So we're going to go down. As you can see, I made an AM folder. I made a folder called BBC. I got some stuff in there. We can just hit World Service. Yeah, World Service. And I got a little speaker behind there.
The biggest. You don't get bigger, I don't imagine. If I could make it 100% mega, I would, but it's not going to work out that way, unfortunately. No, everyone's going to be treated fairly.
South Korea's military has fired warning shots at a North Korean commercial ship that crossed the maritime border in disputed waters on the west side of the Korean peninsula. The South's Joint Chiefs of Staff said the military had transmitted verbal warnings. It said the vessel then retreated into North.
Got a mute button there in the top corner. I used it. It shows a little mute symbol there. Now, if you look next to that mute symbol, it has that play symbol. That changes depending on what you're doing with the radio. Of course, our current time is in the morning, but it doesn't matter because we're internet. We're all over the world. So you got some Fado music, which I've been into lately. I can't hover on it, but we will check it out. Takes a little while to buffer sometimes, especially if you're going overseas. I've noticed that it takes a little longer. So So yeah, you get the idea. Again, can't hover, but once it gets its information, it usually will come up with who's singing. So we'll go info. So I'm hitting the info button and it's showing us some information. There we go. There's his name, Fernando, and what he's singing. Very cool. There's their graphic. And yeah, showing you the rate, 128 kilobits per second, MP3 format. Now there's AAC format. You'll see once in a while, and that's a better one actually if you're recording. So probably should move this radio just a little bit. Get that. Let's see. Let's move this ever so slow. I get this like teetering here with these wires. All right, but yeah, this is nice. I'd love to hover on the music, but I can't. So we'll have some fun. We'll get some news stations. But loving this setup. This is great. I'm using like a little emergency radio with a line in, which is, it works great. I use it for my other radios too. So here we are, info screen. We keep it in info. And it goes back to the main screen right here. Here's the main one. Yeah, that's 12-string guitars are so awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to back up. We're going to just go make my favorites again. And yeah, all favorites, which is nice. So I got 25 sitting there right now. So you go to all and just scroll down the list. But you can see I got like AM. If you're wondering, I just got one in there. News Radio 840. I use that for coast to coast. So yeah, let's see if it's coast to coast is playing.
Try fencing, the Olympic and Paralympic sport that mixes speed, strategy, and fun. It's like chess meets cardio. Quick feet, quick decisions, and a satisfying beat.
So we may come back to that, but yeah, coast to coast, can't really hover on coast to coast either, but I can get it on a stormy night. Usually I just tune in with my radios, but if it is stormy, I can't pick it up too well. I'll definitely go to my internet radio.
Fencing.org/tryfencing. That's usafencing.org.
Nice. So let's go ahead and keep going. Yes, just showing you my favorites, how I got it organized. And, you know, I might add some more folders or, yeah, go from there. So we got locals. So locals, I'm kind of thinking I'm going to change it up a little bit here with the locals and see if I can like do subfolders. I'm not sure if I can do subfolders or not. I don't think I can. I don't think you can do subfolders. No, there's no way here. So if I go right, yeah, it says move to category. Okay, so I don't think I can add another subfolder here. Once you got your main folder, yeah. So you can only do these subfolders like right here. But I might do like local music, because that's where I have my jammed in here. I have local music and local sports. Like here's 1000, WMVP, Chicago.
Seemingly so quickly.
A lot of work, a lot of hard work, you know, a lot of reps, you know, that people, you know, people didn't see. So, you know, it's awesome to go out here, you know, each Sunday, Thursday night and put it on display.
Yeah, he did that. That's for sure. On center stage, Damian Woody on a team that dropped the season openers 1-3 straight. They're underrated.
Absolutely. We've seen Sam Darnold play really good football coming over from the Minnesota Vikings. And defensively, they...
You get some geo-block stations. Nice. I could jam out all night. This is so cool. Again, you got the info and you can go through, scroll through. And sometimes it'll tell you what's playing and sometimes it won't. But this is a pretty good one here. AAC, 128 kilobits per second, 44.1 kilohertz in stereo. So yeah, that's nice. Loving that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and yeah, you should kind of get an idea what my stuff sounds like, right? And how it's all structured. Let's just show you my locals, what I got in there. So I got WBBM News Radio, WDCB, Jazz, Blues. Oh, you got to put that on your radio. You're going to love it. I don't care where you are in the world. WDCB, Chicago Jazz and Blues. If you like your easy jazz or, you know, it is all. It's awesome. And then below it, WFMT, awesome classical music station. Those are great. You got WGN Radio on AM. Nice. Don't really need that because it's a blaster. Any of my radios can pick it up at any time during the day, next to any RFI source. Now I have two ESPN 1000s because one is a different rate. WPRs, Wisconsin Public Radio. We got music and we have news, and I could show you that. We got the score, home of the Cubs, 670. WXRT, awesome station. Again, that's a classic rock. And then we got WXRX, That's an awesome station, rock station too, out of Rockford, 104.9. Rockford better be rocking, right? iHeartRadio 93.9. Now, they play Christmas music starting like after Halloween, you know. First day of November, and they're jamming Christmas music. Yay! That's why that's on there. Yeah, my wife hates that. I love it. Anyway, okay, that's my setup. You get the idea, right? So we're going to go ahead, we're going to back up here, and we're going to search Skytune. So let's go ahead and show you how that works. So let's see, we got Internet Radio, Media Center. Okay, so Internet Radio. Hit that, Skytune. So if I go to Skytune, I think, let's just hit Skytune. We're going to browse this way. Now, if you go to Globe All, this will show you how many stations are available. And there's 31,098 stations. And you can scroll them all right here. Will you do that? No, you will not do that. That's not the way to browse. You'd be there forever. So you can go by genre, nice, by region, most popular. So we're going to go by region. Why not? I always like to do this in my video. Real quick, just to show you how this works. And then you could pick, Americas, Africa, Asia, Europe. We'll go Europe. And then we'll go, let's just pick a random country maybe. Where's it going to stop? Not test only. Let's try, let's see what's going on in Greece. There we go. That. Got most popular. And then we'll see what we got going here. Here's one. That definitely looks Greek to me. All right. Buffering.
Δεν μπορεί να θερήσει, δεν μπορεί να παράγει καρπό. Η αμεριμνησία των αφρόνων θα τον αφανίσει. Όμως λέει στο 33 κάτι πολύ ωραίο. Όστις όμως ακούει εμού, θέλει κατοικήσει εν ασφαλεία.
Okay, so if you want to save it, you would just hit this button right here, the favorites, add to favorites. So as I hit that button, the little icon's going to pop up. It says stored. A little down arrow appeared there as well. So now it's in my list. Now, it says it usually puts it at the bottom of the list, but this one will actually put it alphabetically. So I've noticed that the new firmware does put it alphabetically. Boom. That's it. We found a Greek station. Yay, not music, but let's see if there's music. Sometimes you'll get like English music. Here we go. Here we go. This one definitely sounds like it's Greek here. Political. Ain't gonna be music. Darn it.
Immigrant and Refugee Rights is proud to announce a scholarship opportunity for DACA renewals. The scholarship will be provided through the New American Initiative Partners and covers the full USCIS renewal filing fee. Please visit icirr.org/.
I don't know what's going on, but we'll just have a little fun. There we go. Hey, see, I guess I'm going to save that, actually. I like that. So I'm going to hit the save button. There we go. Awesome. All right, great. So, yeah, Internet Radio, you can go nuts. So we've already been 20-some minutes into this video. Let's go ahead and just jump over to podcasts and we'll do final thoughts on this radio. Because, again, pretty straightforward. You're going to have a lot of fun. It's basic. You can do this from your sofa. And again, this 3-inch screen is amazing. It's huge compared to the little micro mic here. Baby screen. Compared to that, I can't get it down on there. Try to do it. You get the idea, right? Probably should turn this one on too. Give you an idea, and hopefully it's not jamming away here. Make sure I get the volume down. Okay, let's get an idea. Baby screen. There you are. Alright, cool. So we'll go ahead and just turn that off. Alright, so we're going to go to podcast. Yeah. So that's easy. You're going to hit your home button right there. A little picture of a home. And then we're just going to go over back left here. It says podcasts. We're going to hit enter there. And it has listened again, subscribed, history, browse, search history. So I do browse typically because it gives you categories. And you can pick a podcast that you like. So say arts, and then we'll find something. Architecture sounds good to me. And we'll do A is for architecture. I don't know what we're going to get. But it will show you when it was, so the last one was 18th of September, Thursday. That's pretty cool, because I think we're like the 24th when I'm making this video, 25th. So there you go. And you just hit enter on there. Okay. Now, if you want to save this, I'm going to go back it up here. So if you wanted to save the podcast, that you're on, it doesn't go to your favorites. It has its own little built-in favorites. It has subscribed. So we can subscribe to this by going to the listing here and hitting the right arrow. And it'll let us subscribe and it'll let us unsubscribe. So we're going to subscribe. Hit OK. So we've subscribed to AS for Architecture. Yay! So then we'll go in there and we'll hear what they're talking about. Oops, gotta hit the OK button. And then here we are.
Hello. For the latest episode of the AS for Architecture podcast, I spoke to architectural historian, writer and curator Sir Charles Samrose Smith about his forthcoming book, John Vanbrugh, The Drama of Architecture, which is due out with Lund Humphreys in November this year.
Now with podcasts, you can actually fast forward, which is nice. So if you get an ad, which I hate at the beginning of podcasts, you can fast forward them and done. All right, you get the idea, right? So yeah, we could listen to this guy. It sounds pretty boring, but you get the gist.
So John Vanbrugh was an 18th century English dramatist turned architect, best known for designing Castle Howard and Blenheim Palace. He was also a member of the Whig Party and the Kit Kat Club, and though his work could be read through the social...
So if you look here, man, this stream is amazing. 320. Okay, this is the highest I think I've seen on this radio. So 320 kilobits per second, 48 kilohertz resolution. Amazing for a podcast. Wow, it's a good recording. So awesome. Let's go ahead and mute that.
Picture, buildings, urban culture, and space.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of AS for Architecture podcast.
Okay, so we can get out of here. I'm just doing left to go back. Hitting the back section here. Now we're going to go to the, the listen again. So you can actually save. So while you're listening, say I was listening to A for Architecture, if you hit the favorites button, this favorites button right here, anywhere on that podcast you'll currently listen to, it'll save as a marker where you're at. So then when you turn the radio back on, you can go right back to that podcast and where you were in that podcast. Let's listen to what I was listening to here. So I'm going to hit listen again. Whoops. Yeah, it went and did that to me while I was talking. Okay, so let's go to here we go. Listen again. What was I listening to? Okay, so it saves it in a little group. Good. So you could do multiple listen again. So I like that. I don't know what I was listening to. I think there's I don't know what this is here. Let's just hit it. I think it's history. This is history.
Each king was 100% focused on their own personal deeds and accomplishments, to the point where none of them even mentioned their predecessors or ancestors in any of their inscriptions. Naram Sin wasn't Naram Sin, son of Manishtushu, grandson of Sargon the Great. He was just Naram Sin the Mighty, king of the 4 quarters of the earth. No Akkadian royal tomb has ever been found. They certainly had them, but they didn't get the same attention as palaces or temples or administrative buildings. And they were certainly never mentioned in royal inscriptions. A focus on tombs...
Okay, that's it for podcasts. You get the idea, right? So let's back it up. Back it up. All right, great. So yeah, we'll leave it... I don't know, I think we'll just... just showing you again the basic menu. And let's do some final thoughts on the Ocean Digital WR-03M. So we are done showing a little demo. So yeah, what you can expect, what do I like, dislike, and overall opinion. So what I like about this radio, I like its size. It's compact, lightweight. I like its large color display, 3.2 inches, awesome. I like the fact that it has dual alarms. That's the best. Ethernet connection on the back, optical out on the back. The podcast support, that's nice because a lot of these radios don't have podcast support and now they do. So I'm glad to see podcasts being supported. And maybe future firmware, you'll get to do extra stuff as well. So as time goes on, these radios are still supported. I have the original Ocean Digital I reviewed like 6 years ago. It still works. It's amazing. I don't think it's using Skytune. It's using a different aggregator, but that one isn't turned off. So it's perfect. So they definitely support the devices for quite a long time. I like the... I mentioned podcast support, 150 favorites, so that's what you get in there, 150. That's amazing. That's enough for me. I don't know if you need that more than that, but who knows? You might. The included RCA cables, that's a touch. You don't have to go out and buy anything. Right to your stereo. Rock and roll. 5 volt DC input. That's nice because you can go portable if you want. If you have some function for that, that may work for you. I like the sleep function of the radio. That works out great. Bluetooth. FM radio is nice, and of course the universal plug and play and DLNA support, since I am going to my own self-serving computer at home, where it serves all my audio tracks that I record. I put them right on my server, and I can stream them right from here, which is nice. So server runs 24/7. I have access to all my tunes right through this device, which is great. Dislikes and wants. I sometimes think the display refresh is a little slower than these smaller radios, but I could be wrong. It might just be the stream, the connection to the internet. So if it seems a little laggy, it might be the internet stream. If it's if the screen, because sometimes the screen's popping pretty fast and really nice. Because once in a while I'll see that this is a delayed, like it'll skip a second or two, and it's like, what's with that? But that I think it's because it's connection speed. So if you notice that, it's probably not the display, but connection. And also in the remote, I wish this had illumination. So like when you hit a button, it has backlight illumination. That would be nice. If you're in the dark with your remote, you want to be able to see it. That's just a nice touch. Ocean Digital, if you're watching this, definitely, if you could think of an illuminated remote, that's really going to help sell your product. Awesome. Especially this one that has no speakers or buttons on it whatsoever. So overall, the WR-03, it kind of fits the needs for those who want a wired internet connection with an optical output, Bluetooth streaming to their hi-fi system. It also makes a nice bedside radio if you're using a pillow speaker, because this does work with headphones. Should have mentioned that earlier, but it works with headphones and also, with the headphone jack, which is nice. Don't need power for the headphones for some reason. I thought you would need that, but you don't. And it should work with an amplified pillow speaker, so definitely a nice thing. Plus, there's a lot more ways you can set this thing up. Again, like a portable setup and other means. So for me, it's going to be on my radio bench with a little radio attached to it for some sound. That's exactly what I'm going to use this for, because it's simple and it's out of the way, and I can leave it plugged in 24/7, so that's the best part of it all. So I hope you enjoyed the video of the Ocean Digital. It definitely gets a thumbs up. If you can, if you want this for your system, it's probably the best money spent. Instead of buying this here, this is like $89, but it has a speaker, it's a built-in battery you have to worry about. It goes portable, which is nice, but you don't have to worry as much if you're to hook up to a hi-fi system, because you got the optical out, so you get no distortion on your signal, so you have the best quality and audio streaming. So that's why you want to go with this. But definitely, I give it a big thumbs up. If you like the video, give a big thumbs up. If you like this product, Ocean Digital, and you want to see more, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notified of future reviews from this company. And of course, 3, comment down below what you think about the WR-03M. Is this for you? Or would you rather have a dedicated radio with a speaker and the ability to maybe patch it into your hi-fi system with just a simple line-out connection or headphone connection? Let me know what you think. Because if you lose this remote, you can't control this at all. You need the remote. So you might want to get a universal and see if you can map all these buttons. That would be the way to go. I think you could. I think you have enough to map all these buttons. Those universal remotes have quite a few buttons, and that should work for that. So definitely do one of those if you can't pick up a second one of these. Just putting it out there. But let me know what you think down below. Would you be picking up like a 336M? I reviewed that recently. The little Hookup 18, WR-18. Let me know which ones you think you'd like. And I'd like to know what you guys think. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in my next awesome video.